FRE, train my right, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's TheFlyBoy. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. Early morning, just dropped my little man off at school. Um, love doing these dad duty things. Um, I think like it gives me the balance I need to really be able to separate myself from anything that I don't know that doesn't fit what I represent or what I would like to show that I represent. Welcome to Jeep Talk episode 60. The importance of separation. Growing up in life, I never imagined I'd get to where I'm at in life. I traveled the world, had so many amazing women in my lifetime. I hit millionaire status. I own properties, cars. I'm completely debt free outside of the debt that makes me money. I'm healthy. I'm 41. I just never thought growing up in Newark, New Jersey, East Orange, New Jersey, Irvington, New Jersey, I never thought that this would be as amazing as it is right now. But I think what I learned that made me get to this point is that a lot of times the separation between you and people that seemingly are going your way, but you end up seeing that's not the way they're going, or events or crowds that are seemingly going your way or going the same way you're going, not your way, but the same way you're going, but every now and then they veer off so much you can't really see the connection. I think that is the reason why I was able to reach this point in my life. I think that is the reason why I'm able to reach and traffic is impatient. Reach where I reached in life. And the more and more I get older, the more and more I watch YouTube, the more and more I live, the more and more I go around, I realize that separation is so much needed because a lot of people can fall into the category that you don't want to fall into, especially when the whole world is looking at you. So we're gonna do this like, you know how I do this on Jeep Talks. I do this in different genres or different levels of things. I do it as the YouTube creator, I do it as a real life person, and I usually do it as a business owner also. So for this one, we're gonna start as a real life person because that came before everything that I do now. Businesses, YouTube, that came before everything I do right now. So growing up, I had a situation, right? Once, just give me one instance where I was in charge of a property, and the property, I made sure I got collected the money from my roommates. I made sure that I kept the place clean. We didn't disturb the neighbors. It was in a quiet residential area, but I was in control of the property and as far as managing the property. But I was with my friends, and my friends weren't as mature at the time as I was. So they wanted to throw wild parties. They wanted to have the neighbors call the cops a bunch of times. They was late for rent a lot of times. Sometimes they missed the rent. Sometimes they got locked up. I had to bail them out. Stuff like that. Things like this, I realized, yo, we're still great friends, but at this moment right now, we got to separate, the Jeep. And the reason why we have to separate is because in order for me to reach the height or the path that I want to reach, there's no way that I can be hanging out and doing the same things you guys are doing, or have you guys as my roommates in a place where I'm in control of everything and things can go to shit. It's gonna be blame on me. Shout out to Travel POV in the room. So at that time I was about 23, 20, 22, and I told my roommates I had separate. And I got some people who are more along the lines of well behaved, not working out times, always on time for their portion of the rent. And even though we didn't hang out, I didn't hang out with these new people as much because we didn't have one was one was a girl and the other one was an older person. And we just even though a Caribbean person who's like here, you know, for work. It even though we didn't hang out like I hung out with my friends, I was able to then build my life to be more successful because I separated myself from the people I was closest to. Now I did eventually get close back with my friends, but we had to separate in order for me to grow and for order for them to get to where they needed to get to, so that when we come back as friends, we're on the same path. We always stayed friends, but we just separated. I'm going to talk about it more now on the YouTube aspect. Before we get to the business aspect, we're going to talk about the YouTube aspect of it. A lot of people say YouTube is becoming I want to say like a wrestling match, or it's becoming so fake because there's so many personalities and so many characters, and not a lot of people who stick to who they portray to be. A lot of people say that's what YouTube is becoming. But me, as a person who has been on AOL, on YouTube, online, on social media since AOL chat days, which is sometime back in 2005, 2000 and maybe 1990 something. I've realized that's always what social media has been. It's always been a place where a person creates a character who they may or may not be, who is creating this character because they want this character to be accepted by the masses. That's usually the lead of most people, on social media. A lot of people are, thank you, Travel 98 AOL. Alright, so what's going on? A lot of people are creating a character, not a caricature. A caricature is differently, but a character who they are getting accepted as this character online, but in person, a completely different person, or they only stand on being that character when it suits them, or at the time it suits them. Me personally, I was never able to play that game because my friends, my close friends, my brother, my family, they wouldn't allow me to play that game because I knew the consequences that came from certain actions I done. I definitely knew the consequences from certain actions I done. If you just walk into the room, this is Jeep Talk, episode 60, the importance of separation. So as I understood that the YouTube, and before YouTube, like I said, AOL in 1998, 1997, but as I understood that social media is a caricature place, I had a choice. I could either build a caricature that people would love and they would just always say this is the person he is, this is a nice person, this is a good person, the person I want to be around, or I could just be me and take the downfall that there are going to be some people who are like, ew, I don't know, I don't like that he did that. Why did he do that? So now when it's more apparent that the majority, I'm not even going to say there are some, I'm going to say the majority, I won't say all, because I do believe somewhere out there are more people like myself who are who they are on and offline, and who sticks to their principles on and offline, or sticks to their word on and offline, regardless of what consequences come with it, because I feel as though the majority of people aren't like that. And I've always accepted that. Again, I think me being online for, what's going on, Noel? Me being online for so long, help me understand that's the majority away. But then there's a need for separation. And the reason why is a big need for separation, and a lot of people don't understand it, is because when two people are arguing, or you're arguing with a fool, the rest of the world don't know who's who. So trying to be an educated person or trying to speak educatedly to somebody who's playing that character game, or trying to kick it with somebody that's playing that character game, is only going to make people who are not characters look at you like a character. Like, oh. And once that happens, it's a matter of respect. It's a matter of loss of seeing, oh, this is not real. And once you lose that, it's not very easy to get back. I think, all a man has, or all a woman has, is her word. And her, because everything else in life, or your image, or your brand, because everything in life, it can change, it can flip-flop, but especially with social media now, where we can see it, it's different. It was different, a little bit different back before AOL, where people couldn't see a person flip-flopping. You couldn't see a person playing the caricature or not keeping to the word or their actions and stuff like that. So people would just forget about it over time. But now we have social media, we have internet, we have YouTube, we have Kick, we have Rumble, we have Instagram, where you can go back and watch a video and then go and watch what the person is doing now. Like, yo, this person is just not who they portray to be. Or this person is willing to change who they portray to be based on the situation and how the situation is at the time. I never really get mad at it, because it's life. I never judge anybody to say, oh, this guy's horrible. I just like to say, okay, once I see it, I understand where people stand. I understand where things are, because I am who I am regardless. And my actions show that. Versus I can't think of it. Maybe somebody could tell me, or maybe if people that really are into the channel, watch the channel, maybe you could point out. Mind you, I've been on YouTube for 21 years, no, for 16 years. In this month, this November, November 5th, right? What day is today? It was say November 5th. Tomorrow, it'll be 16 years since I've been on YouTube. You can go back 16 years and you won't see me making a big contradiction on where I stand and how I act after 16 years. But there's been people who've been on a year, 3 years, 5 years, and I can see multiple times where they flip-flop based on their character. And it's like, oh man, it's crazy, because I do believe it's becoming more and more people. I still don't think it's everybody. But this is the importance of separation, y'all. This is the importance of separation. In my mind, it is better to be alone or with limited people and be 100% who you are all the time than to appease to people in order to keep your likeness, or in order to keep your supporters, or in order to keep the thought of who people think you are. But I do think a lot of this comes from people not being comfortable with who they are or who they really are. And I understand it. So that's why I don't judge people. I don't judge people who have to pretend or have to change his character over time. I do still point it out, and I still know I have to separate, because again, I'll give you guys an example. Let's say I'm beefing with somebody online. Let's say I have an argument with somebody online, and the person gets real disrespectful. If I don't back away from that situation, anyone I know I'm with, they're going to take that situation as a personal situation. So there is no way, even if I tried to kill a situation. For example, if I had somebody who I had some kind of disagreement with, some argument with, and what's going on, Silo? What's up? What up? If I had some kind of argument or disagreement with somebody, and it was a public display of disagreement, and my friends or my brother or my family or somebody seen it, and then behind the scenes I pieced it up with the guy, or I said we're not going to have no issue. If I see a person in person, my friends are going to do something before I can even get to it, because I let it play out. And then that would be on me. That would be 100% on me. Because because I didn't back away, because I kept being aggressive, because I kept being that way, and I, to the limits of what my friends and family go, I would feel hurt because I know where we're taking, because they know I don't play like that, and they know we don't play like that. But in the internet world, some people keep saying the internet is fake. It's a no. Certain people play characters in the internet world, but the internet world is still real. It's still real in the sense of what you say can have actions. You don't think so? Go ahead and be like the lady who took the ball from the kid that caught it at the stadium, who then got fired from her real job. Go ahead and be like the person who was rest in peace, talking stuff in Vegas and then got shot. Him and his wife got killed in real life. The internet is not a fake place. It's a real place. Shout out to V Swells in the building. It's a real place. The actions that come from the internet can have real consequences. That come from social media can have real consequences. But everyone doesn't move as such. I move that way because I know my crowd. I know who I'm with. And they don't move, they don't play like that. So it's like, for me, I have no choice but to be who I really am in real life and say what I would really say to somebody in real life, or do what I would really do, or move with women the way I would really move with women in real life on YouTube. I have no choice because I come from an era where that's all we were able to do unless we wanted to deal with the consequences. But unfortunately, again, we're living in a world where, like, yes, there are so many people who are playing the character that there may not be consequences with some people, but then there are consequences with other people. And I don't knock anybody. Again, everybody has their own right, but I think there has to be somebody, and that's why I'm having this conversation about separation, who tells people, hey, listen, that might not work 100% of the time. That life, that train of thought, that process is going to get messed up because I'm going in the hills right now. It might not work all the time. And if there's not anyone to tell you that, hey, the internet is a real place, it has real consequences, it has real actions, then people go around thinking they could be a character, and there's nothing wrong with it. But if something does happen and then they're shocked, or then they can't deal with the consequences, and they never had anybody to say, yo, listen, it's a real place, then can they really be at fault? Can you really blame the person who no one has ever, can you ever really blame the woman? If the woman goes around and she talks about how much of a promiscuous woman she is, she talks about all the stuff she does online, and then she starts getting guys who don't want to be with her, or who just keep playing her out for the intimacy, and then she wonders why that is, because she talks promiscuous online, because she thinks online is not a real place. Can you blame it if no man ever takes her serious? No, because she put it out there that this is who she is. The same way, if, again, y'all, separation. Now, another thing about separation, if you're just walking into Jeep Talk episode 60, the importance of separation, a lot of people would pay a character because of their popularity, because of the popularity that comes with it. And they're not willing to separate, because if they separate, the peanut gallery won't follow them because they're being too serious, or they're being too real, or they're being too... The issue with this is that a lot of people have a small eye frame of YouTube. They get a small bunch of 300. They get Sparta, 300. We have the strongest 300 people that's supporting you all the time. But now your brand can't grow bigger. Your brand can't reach out and grow bigger because you're so determined to be a character to satisfy your 300 people on a live, or 300 people that watch your videos, that you can't grow your brand, because the character is not who you really are, or the character are not who you really are. And this is not a one-person thing. The crazy thing is so many people are going to think this is a one. I'm back, y'all. Damn. I really want to wait till it's clear, so we'll talk. We'll make sure we pick it up from the standard, y'all, because I know if you're watching this live, it's going to be going in and out. But if you're not watching this live, it'll cut off and go to the next part where it's clear. I want to make sure that we start talking again when it's clear, so you guys can really get the whole message, because I know most people won't listen because YouTube is what it is. But there will be hopefully that one person that listens, and it may help them in their future. Because the standard of what YouTube is now is we need you to be a one-dimensional character to play this role, so you can appease the peanut gallery of 300 people who follow you on live. We need you to play this role, and if you don't play this role, we won't support you. But this role is killing your brand. It's killing any possibilities of anybody with true character, or anybody with connections, or anybody that can help you achieve another level that you just don't know exists or you haven't reached yet. It's not going to work with you if they see that a person is a character and not really who they are, and their character changes based on the. Again, if it's not already, that is the standard of what YouTube is. A bunch of different creators who are playing a character because that character gets not a lot of popularity, or so they think. And here's where it really, like, it gets funny. Here's where it gets funny. I get on my YouTube channel. I talk crazy about all the women you see on my channel. I meet women in person, and I'm quiet. I don't say nothing to them. I'm just a quiet type. The women then make camera on my channel. And if I put them on my channel, they tell me to delete the video, or they tell me I'm going to report to YouTube because I don't want to be on your channel because of your character. So now I have a channel, I can't get any women on the channel, or I have to hide who I am to the woman on the channel. Because the 300 people that follow me wanted me to be this character when I'm around women. So now I done jeopardize my in-person life. That's what we should call it. YouTube is real life, but it's not in person. I jeopardize my in-person life for the 300 people. I only get 4,000 views on this live alone. After doing all this, after through hoops, after changing characters, after doing whatever I have to do after doing what I had to do to get these 300 people to be happy, to get these people from the peanut gallery, to get them to be happy. I got 4,000 views, and that video doesn't get more than 4,000 views. And I'm happy because I think that's popularity. Versus the person who's been really who they are, who may have 2, maybe 3, maybe 50 people watching the live right now, because the live, like Dice said, is the reception is coming in and out because I'm going through the woods. But then people go back and they watch the clips of these, the clips from the live, or they watch and the person's genuine nature of what he's saying, and the person that the genuine person who they are on YouTube and in real life. And then the videos go up to 10,000 because he didn't try to appease that 300, or she didn't try to appease that 300 people that come every day that want to hear you say something crazy about women, or say something crazy about another content creator that in person you're going to have to switch up. That shit's crazy. But I don't get mad at people because I understand it. And I think that's where I think I differ from so many, like, I'll say older guys who get upset because they get upset like, this should be taken down, this should be bad. No, I think everybody should have a fair role at what they say. But there has to be somebody that explains to people that YouTube's real life. The internet is real life. Now, the consequences may not always come because there are characters, and everyone is not playing a character. majority of people may be playing a character, but everyone's not playing a character. And it's not until, I'm starting to think maybe some people know who is and who is not playing the character. They just don't want to say it, or they don't want to show it. And I understand it. I wouldn't either. It's not my job to point out who's playing the character and who's not. That's just something that the viewer's going to have to understand. I mean, but we're in a point now, even that is skeptical. Many guys, shout out to Dice Domino, many people can't tell the difference. And I've had this conversation so many times. Many people can't tell the difference between real and entertainment. I'll tell you again, the difference between real and entertainment is something a person does to appease or to entertain, or let's not use entertain, to get the attention or to satisfy someone else's desire of what they want at the time. Real is someone being who they genuinely are and showing that, whether it's on a camera, in person, and a person sticking to their morals and principles. If my morals and principles can change based on the situation I'm in, or what I stand on can change based on what is popular or not, I am an entertainer. I am not a real person. But a lot of people are getting it wrong on YouTube, and they're so into a person, and then the person switches up every single time based on what you guys are into. There's nothing wrong with it. The part that I separate myself from everybody else. There's nothing wrong with it. But when you start trying to live your life based on an entertainer and not based on real, a person whose character, or people, or woman, man, whose character doesn't change based on the popularity of the group, or based on the situation, based on getting the most attention, then only you can be blamed for the actions that come when you try it. Shout out to Intuition, shout out to all live streams out there. I told them before, I said, yo, there's a difference when I live stream versus a lot of live stream people that live stream. Because when you live stream, it's a lot harder to play a character. It's a lot more difficult when you do IRLs to play a character. You know why? Because your actions in person have consequences. And that's why you'll see different IRL creators. And I'm not just talking about in one niche. The dating niche, in the travel niche, in the finance niche. That's why you'll see IRL creators either only IRL streaming from their home, or IRL streaming in an environment that is so quote unquote safe that there is no expectation of risk. Because IRL streaming shows you that the internet is real life in real time. Notice what I said. IRL streaming shows you that the internet is real life in real time. And again, y'all, I'm not knocking anybody. I don't ever knock anybody's hustle. I think that everybody needs to get their story out, play the character you want. But there just needs to be somebody, and I felt as though I'll take that. When I feel as though there needs to be somebody because there's not somebody doing something, I'm going to go out and do it because that's what I do. And there needs to be somebody to explain to people that may be watching, they may not know, that yo, the internet is a real place. YouTube is a real thing. Real actions have real consequences. Playing a character is good as long as you play a character with the people who can play. You can play a character with. It's just I didn't know there was so many people you could play a character with. I can, like, if I'm on YouTube, I can see who you. I know personally because I've been moving around so much. I know who I don't think you can play a character with. But I'm realizing that there are a lot of people who surprisingly you can't play a character with. And again, I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying you have to understand there's a need to separate. The importance of separating yourself so you don't get bunched up in that same crowd of people that people think, and I'm gonna say it blunt, that people think they can play with. And unfortunately, I don't think everybody knows that. Again, And I don't just do it for myself. I do it because I'm normally if I'm by myself, I'm most happiest because I can control everything. If I'm with my close friends or even friends that know me through either travel space, I'm not always going to be able to control everything. So I need to put myself in a position where I don't give people the caution or I don't give people the feeling that I'm uncomfortable. Because if they get the feeling that I'm uncomfortable, I can't stop everybody's actions. And that's why I separate myself when I start to see people who are characters and not real life. And not real, and not really who they are in person. When I start to see people, and there's nothing wrong with it, but for me and for what I do on YouTube and what I do with content creation, whenever I start to see a person become more of a character than an actual genuine person, and I see it, or I see them going against what they said, I see them changing up for whatever reason because of the more attention it gets, I start to push myself back and separate and see them in a different light and separate myself, because I know if you're a swan, or not swan, if you're a falcon, and I see you walking around a bunch of ducks, one time I might understand you just there hunting, trying to get a kill. But if you're a falcon and you're consistently, or eagle, and you're consistently around ducks over and over again, or doing the same stuff ducks do over and over again, people are going to call you a duck. You can be assured that anybody with respect is going to look at you like a duck, because if all you do is hang and move like a duck does, there's nothing wrong with it. But it's Duck Dynasty. It's Duck Dynasty, y'all. It's Duck Dynasty. And I don't get sad. I don't get upset. I get disappointed in myself, because I give a lot. Because when I see somebody, when I say people, I give a lot of people more credit than I probably should. But because I think you got to give people enough rope to hang themselves or show who they really are. And it's disappointing, because time after time, and I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to do it because another Jeep. I'm still going to do it because I don't want to give somebody less credit than they should, and that be the one that I messed up because, oh shoot, that's really a real genuine person and not a character, and then I take that loss. So I'll take that hit, but it's coming to a point where, bruh, that's why I don't want to start shouting out people I met that are real, because then if I don't mention the person's name, people might get upset and like, oh, he's talking about this person, or he's talking about this person, and it's nothing talking about a person, but just talking about the genuine concept of things. So I don't want to just shout out a bunch of people's names that I met that have been genuinely real person, and I don't feel like they're a character. But man, I just appreciate those people more. And the reason why I appreciate those people more I've met is because I've seen so much on YouTube of people who I genuinely thought were like, yo, as a person coming from North New Jersey, y'all, I know we bond. We might not be from the same city, we might not be from the same hood, but nah, we understand. We understand what I'm talking about. We understand what's really going on. I've seen so many people like that just become popularity chasers who don't, and again, I'm not sad. I'm not judging anybody. I'm disappointed in myself because, damn, I thought there was a lot more people that was more like me, more genuine, more who they are, depending on how they feel, and not the popularity of what they believe. It's crazy, man. We almost at work now. You guys got any questions? I don't know if it's gonna work because it was in and out, but if you guys got any questions, you can ask me any questions you want to ask. Again, this is Jeep Talk episode 60, the importance of separation. Yeah, man. There's a lot of importance of separation in the business world. As far as bad business deals, people who aren't doing good in life but have a business proposal for you. I separate myself from all of those people as well. If your lifestyle isn't one of abundance, not like you got to be rich, but if you move like, everything is nickel and diamond, I usually separate myself from that brand also, because that comes with a different character. I mean, like, if I'm going to spend some money and I'm going to do something, I've already amounted of how much money I can really spend or how much I can really do. I've already calculated that. So if I go to a party and I'm with my homies, and for example, let me give you an example. When I was doing the best live stream collab that you'll ever see on 2025 in Cali, Colombia, and I was with Kings and Dreams, I was with my homie G, I was with a bunch of other people. We all knew from the start. I don't meet, like me, my homie G and King James Dreams. You say, yo, we don't care what everybody else is doing. Each of us is going to buy a bottle. We all going to buy a bottle. It wasn't no discussion on who's going to split the money. None of that. Even though we know everybody that was with us had money. Everybody that was with us had money. Enough money to do whatever they wanted to do. Everybody that was with us in that table had a bunch of money they could do whatever they wanted to do. But we knew for a fact that, yo, we going to all buy a bottle. So that's exactly what we did. I didn't have to ask, yo, how we gonna split this up or nothing like that, because you knew who you with and you knew what was gonna be. And again, I get more appreciative of meeting people like that, because I know there's a far more people that's not. Cause it's just like we ain't gotta discuss nothing. Yo, I get a bottle, you get a bottle, give it to the women. We don't worry about none of that. If I'm with my brother and them, same thing. We ain't gotta act. We just know we all coming out with the stuff like that. And just simple things like that. It's like, all right, cool. So I know we ain't gotta worry about that. Man, I was with Big Boss and I was with DJ Chisel. It was 2 joints. We had two Brazilian joints. Walking down the street, Big Boss seen, yo, it was an unfair amount of chicks to dude ratio. He said, I'm gonna dip off. He dipped off. That's you appreciate moments like that, genuine moments like that, because you know that it's so rare, bro. In this environment, it's so rare, and this is becoming more. I'm still never going to say that everybody in the travel niche or everybody on YouTube is playing the character, because I know it's not true. But there is a large amount of people playing the character, and their character changes based on their popularity. It's not a good or bad thing. I just get disappointed in myself when I start seeing people who I thought wasn't on that thing being on that thing, yo. It's crazy, yo. But we made it to my job, y'all. I know this has been an on and off live. Hopefully you guys can watch this in the end. And it'll be more clear now that I stopped. But this was Jeep Talk episode 60. The importance of separation. If you walk with a bunch of ducks, whether you move with a bunch of ducks, and you go wherever the popularity is, you go with the stuff that most people agree upon versus standing out being who you portray to be. Doesn't matter if you're a bear, doesn't matter if you're a wolf, doesn't matter if you're a sheep, doesn't matter if you're a cow. It doesn't matter what you proclaim to be. If you put yourself consistently in these situations doing these based on that, it's Duck Dynasty. It's just Duck Dynasty. It's your boy FRE, $H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's TheFlyBoyway. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace. Thanks, Habitual.